Welcome back, everyone. So today I want to talk a little bit about a topic that was revealed last week. I'm a little late to this, I'm sorry. In fact, today is the same day that the patch came out and the update. But I want to talk a little bit about the new Overwatch news that just came out recently. So Overwatch recently had a pretty big event where they showed off a bunch of new things coming to the game. Including the normal seasonal updates, new battle pass skins, new mythic skins, just a bunch of cool stuff for the game. In fact, they kind of showed off the new hero. I forgot what their name was. I'm gonna be honest, they look like just Widow with a crossbow, and I'm like, man, could you make them look a little bit different? She looks the same. Anyway, I was honestly pretty impressed with what they had to show. So with the introduction to Marvel Rivals, it's been clear that there's been somewhat of a decline in the player base for Overwatch. And I'm sure that Blizzard and Overwatch kind of know that, but basically Marvel Rivals has been extremely successful, and I'm very happy for the Rivals devs. And Overwatch has been on a steady decline for a little bit now, with it feeling so generic and also being kind of the titan of the hero shooter genre at this point. It's been kind of taking over that genre, even when they make terrible decisions and screw up the entire game every single time. They still manage to stay on top because there's been no rivaling them. Concord failed immediately. What was it? Paladins was like fine, but it kind of fell apart quick. It hasn't had competition is basically what I'm trying to say here. So with this new update, they've brought back a lot of stuff that worked in Overwatch 1 that was removed, and a lot of people have been wanting to come back. And they've also added some new interesting gameplay gimmicks. So firstly, let's talk a little bit about loot boxes. Yes, they are coming back, but number one, I don't think you can buy them. Number two, they were a better system than the stupid Battle Pass and the shop. I'm sorry, I never liked the shop, I never liked the Battle Pass. I honestly liked loot boxes, and now that you can't physically buy them, I think it's a lot better. You earn them through challenges and Battle Passes, which is good, because now you get these nice little loot boxes which give you more rewards. It's a better system. Thank you God they're bringing these things back. There are some really cool skins shown off. I think that the Zen Mythic looks really nice. The Reaper Mythic weapons look really, really fun to use. And I'm very excited for these new updates to the game. But the big thing I want to talk about are perks. Yes, they are adding perks to this game, similar to how Apex Legends handles perks. Basically, they are attributes that you can choose between per match. So for example, when you level up a certain number, I'm not sure how it's going to work, but if you get to something where you can choose a perk, you can choose between 1 or 2 perks for your minor perk, and then 1 or 2 perks for your major perk. This applies to every single character in the game. This is a huge change, and it's honestly going to revitalize this gameplay, because some of these perks are honestly kind of scarily broken. Ana, somebody who cannot headshot in the game. Juno, who is also somebody I believe cannot headshot in the game, will have perks that allow them to headshot and get critical hits. That is fucking scary, because Ana's already really good on her own, but the fact that now she's going to have a way to headshot people, and she's a sniper, it's going to be like Widow as a support. I am scared. Then there's like Zenyatta, who's got a kick that gives 30% knockback. Winston can place down a bubble that can heal his allies. Reaper's got back like his healing orbs when he kills enemies. Orisa's got back her shield as a perk. There's a lot of new, interesting perks here, but also they're bringing back things that worked from Overwatch 1 as perks. Torbjorn can bring back his level 3 turret, which is insane because you can actually level up your turret like you could in Overwatch 1. But he also has another perk that allows you to stick the turret to any surface you want. So you can either choose his Overwatch 1 playstyle, or you can choose the new one with the spider turret, which is way better in my opinion. I think it's so cool. You can stick the turret anywhere. It's basically Symmetra. I'm kind of scared of it too, to be honest. But yeah, I'm really excited for how these perks are going to change the gameplay. And they're also adding a third-person mode to the game, which looks to be kind of copying Marvel Rivals, and that's something else I want to get into real quick. Number one, who cares if they're copying Marvel Rivals? I'm happy they have competition. I've always been a bigger Overwatch fan. I've played a little bit of Marvel Rivals, but Overwatch is my bread and butter. I prefer playing Overwatch. I think it's more fun. I think the character selection is more fun. Rivals is fine. I like Rivals. I don't have a problem with Rivals, but I can say that I feel like the gameplay is a little slow. And there's some things in the game that I'm just like, man, this kind of sucks. I don't know. Overwatch has that too, but I feel like Marvel Rivals is a lot less balanced and has some more annoying characters that are just simply like, God, I hate you. Please stop playing this game, you know? With the third-person mode, it kind of sparked this whole thing where it's like, okay, Overwatch is just copying Marvel Rivals at this point. And I'm going to say the third-person mode, I could see them possibly cobbling that together at the last second to be like, oh, well, Marvel Rivals is doing that. And a lot of games are doing like third-person shooting now, so maybe they just wanted to kind of grasp that. I'm going to be honest, though, I think the perks were introduced because the player base was diminishing, not because of Marvel Rivals. This stuff takes time, okay? It takes time to add things to a video game. You can't just cobble it together in a month. Maybe you could. Maybe if it's not done well, you could. But I don't think Blizzard was doing this within a month. Marvel Rivals came out in December. This is coming out today, February 18th. That gives them 2 months. Because they didn't know that Marvel Rivals was going to succeed. Nobody really knew if it was going to succeed or not. And it did, and it's great. But they didn't know it was going to succeed. So they probably weren't planning on making that because of Marvel Rivals. I think they were planning on making it because their player base was probably starting to fall down. A lot of people were looking at Overwatch in a bad light. Overwatch was getting a ton of hate, and I think now they realized, well, damn, I guess we gotta really try now. So here we are. I think they wanted to really try and bring back the franchise because clearly there's issues with the franchise and they want to fix what doesn't work. And I think the perks are going to be a great way to bring people back, as well as giving new life to the game. Perks are going to change every single match because now everybody's going to get different moves, different abilities. You're not going to know how somebody's going to play. Maybe somebody will want to play a little more defensively or offensively. It doesn't really matter. I think that's a much better change and a very positive change. And I also think it's positive for Overwatch to have competition because without competition, games will just succeed no matter what, and people will just get away with it. And it doesn't matter. I mean, think about the game industry. Nintendo right now is kind of a titan in terms of first-party exclusives. Because if you look at a console like PlayStation or Xbox, why are you buying an Xbox or a PlayStation right now? What, Astrobot on PlayStation? Is that the reason you're buying a PlayStation? Silent Hill 2 and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth are like the only games I can think of that came out last year that were exclusive to PlayStation but are now on PC. What's the point? I don't see any reason to purchase a PlayStation, and especially an Xbox. Xbox games you can buy on pretty much every platform. In fact, they are going to start utilizing PlayStation and Nintendo in their own presentations. They're going to use their logos. They're going to say what's coming to PlayStation and Nintendo and stuff now. They're not really using exclusives anymore, and Nintendo is on top because of that. They have no competition. And it's kind of sad to see because I don't like Nintendo as a company. I think they're really scummy. And their business decisions are so anti-consumer, and it just, now that they have no competition, why are they going to charge less for their games? Why are they going to give us benefits to come into their console? There's no reason to. You already have the benefit. First-party games. There you go. They have Mario, Zelda, Metroid, Pokemon, Kirby. You got all kinds of games on Nintendo platforms, whereas other platforms, you do not. Other platforms, you have games that can be found on every single freaking thing on the planet. Especially PC. This is why whenever somebody asks me, what consoles should I buy? I say buy a Nintendo Switch and a PC. Because PC, if you build a good enough PC, you can play everything on it. There's no exclusives anymore, and there's emulation. Not saying that you should pirate games, but there is emulation out there. It exists, so if that's something you really want to do, you can do it. I don't want to get off on a tangent with that, even though this is called Paul's Rambles. But basically, I think competition is extremely important. And competition for Overwatch is something that is long overdue. And I'm so happy that it came in the form of Marvel Rivals, because they're adding things that I think will bring players back to Overwatch, maybe. There's been some people saying that it sounds interesting, but they're not coming back to Overwatch. I have a feeling that maybe after seeing how it plays, assuming it plays well, people are going to start coming back. I know I'm going to be playing it more because I kind of got bored of Overwatch, but now this is a whole new thing. They're completely revitalizing the gameplay. They're giving it a revival. I'm very excited to find out what each of these perks are going to do as I experiment with them and team comps. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be really, really fun. But yeah, I mean, that's really all they're doing. I say that as if there's really nothing going on. They're doing a lot with the game, and I couldn't be happier for the Overwatch team to be doing something interesting with the game again. After they canceled that single player mode, Overwatch 2's been kind of on a steady decline. Blizzard, with all their accusations, there's been a lot of issues with Overwatch, but I'm hoping now with this perk system and with honestly loot boxes coming back. I know a lot of people hate loot boxes, but now that you can't buy them and they're not predatory and they just exist in the game, they're just free. I think it's going to make it a lot more fun to play the game, because now you're getting cosmetics for free in a free game. I forget Overwatch is free because I paid for it when it came out. So the fact that Overwatch is free now and you're getting free cosmetics, including a guaranteed legendary if you get 3 loot boxes and you didn't get a legendary, that's awesome. That is awesome. And I think it is a much better system than what they had in Overwatch 1. And I think it's a better system than what they have in Overwatch 2 now. So it's honestly really great. I'm excited to see what they're going to do with these additions. And I really hope people do give Overwatch a shot again. If you've been kind of turned off from Overwatch because of the predatory practices of loot boxes and the terrible battle passes and the changes to the game, I implore you to give this a shot. I'm excited to try this tonight with some friends. And I mean, I'll probably come back with an update video on whether or not this is actually a good change or not, and I want to talk about my impressions of it. But yeah, once again, I apologize for being a little late for this. There was a lot going on last week with other things, and I was kind of talking about a bunch of other things, and I got kind of busy towards the end of the week, so a little late on this topic, but you know, I figured I'd meet my quota and at least discuss my initial impressions of seeing these things. Anyway, I'll get back to you guys about when I actually play with these perks and such, so we'll get back to that once I actually do that. So anyway, I think I'm going to leave it off with that, so hope everybody has a good one, and I'll see you in the next video.